Good evening. Thanks for joining me tonight. I know it's Friday and it's late, but I've been super busy because I'm in the middle of a move. But I wanted to do 8 crafts with you today. I did a Dollar Tree haul today, and these are the things I made. So we're going to start off with these cute little Starbuck little Grinch ornaments. Super cute, super simple. You would need a Cricut, and if you don't have one, you can still take the image and you would buy the clear sticky labels, and you could print it right on the label and stick it on. That's what I always did because I didn't have a Cricut myself. Right now I'm just using my mom's, so it will work. So you're going to buy these. That's a salt and pepper shaker, 2 for $1. They're super cute. Okay, they have the twist-on lid. Oh, jeez, I was really stuck on there. And we're going to just take that. And what I did is I just picked up a package of green straws. I wish Wizard and I found the paper ones that are super cute with polka dots or something, but I couldn't find any today. So that's just the regular straws. And they have little holes you can see right here for the obviously salt or pepper. So what I did is I took my drill, I put a bit on it. This bit is not too huge, but it's definitely bigger than one of the holes in the salt. And we're just going to turn that real, lightly, and you can see all the little plastic shedding off there. And then I didn't want to crack it because it is a very hard plastic. Then you'll remove your bit, and I'm trying to see if I could see the size on this one. I don't. Sorry, my eyes are too small. It's too small for my eyes. And then you're going to turn your bit so you can get the next bit in, and then we'll do the same procedure. Like I said, I think if you went with this big bit right from the get-go, I think you'd crack it. So when you do this one, just kind of, make it a little bit bigger. So now we have our hole, okay? We'll just get all our little shavings out of there. And what I did is I took my straw, because I didn't want such a long piece on my straw. I just snipped off a little here. Now, obviously, the straw has where you can pull it out and kind of twist it down, make your shape a little, so you can kind of feel free to adjust it how you want. Now, I kind of took it and stand it next to it, and then I just kind of cut off so that it won't be too short. But if it don't go all the way to the bottom, that's fine too. Now I noticed with my bit, it was just a little bit too small, but I didn't have neck size up. So I kind of just bent my little straw here, kind of crimped it a little at the bottom and stuck it. Once I got it in there, then, it was definitely big enough. So that's how we're going to do that. Now, what I did with the string, we'll be making a few crafts, and we won't be using the string off of these ornaments. So honestly, I just used this gold string from this DIY today that I had, because instead of throwing it out, I was like, this will be perfect. So when I cut this off, I just snipped it real close to the knot, and I'm not going to use it on this DIY that we'll be doing shortly. So I took that same string, so we're not wasting. And once again, I removed the lid. And I went through the one hole and back out the other. Now make sure you use the end, obviously, that doesn't have the knot, or it's not going to be too effective. And just put it right through, in and out. Alrighty. And then I pulled that, and then I just made another knot on the inside, obviously. So you won't see that. Just like this. And this stuff is always a little tricky to work with because it's super slippery. but it will not, as long as you don't, there you go. So you pull tight, and then you'll pull that, and that's going to be your hanger, okay? So that is the cute little Starbucks cup. Now you could fill this with beads, or you could fill it with that foam. You could paint the inside on the bottom like a brown if you're trying to do like a mocha, and then fill the frosting on the top. But I just thought it was cute empty. So now we'll just take our vinyl, and I was just using my little tool and kind of press down. This was a little bit tricky, I gotta admit, to weed, because this stuff is very, very tiny. Now the size I did on this was 2 inches round. So 2 by 2 obviously would be on your Cricut or whatever machine you have, but it's a 2-inch. I really think it is, good size. However, I think if you had to try to make this any smaller, it would not be very successful. Now, being that we put the string in and the straw in, obviously you want the string to the back, and you want the, so it will kind of hang tip like that. So you kind of want to center, whoa, not upside down. You want to center that so that, let's see, I kind of want my straw to go to that side, I think. That's cute. So yeah, just kind of pick where you want your, let me make sure that some of that plastic stuff's on there. That you put it exactly how you want it to hang. And then you'll just push down on it, and you know how it is. That's a good thing about this. It is small, so you won't have no problem getting it to stay down. And then, if you need to use your little tool, you can do so. Just make sure it's on there nice and tight. And obviously peel your transfer tape off, okay? So these projects, like I said, are super simple, super inexpensive, makes a little great gift. I was thinking, you could even roll up cash and put it inside, and this could be a really great way to give someone money for Christmas. Obviously, a gift card wouldn't fit in there, but honestly, if you just wanted to use some green dough, it'd be perfect. Nice $100 bill in there. We'll all take one of those, right? All right, and because those little things are so small, just kind of make sure as you're pulling it off that they're all there. And that's how you do that quick DIY. Okay. Next, we're going to move along to another DIY. This one, I'm not gonna waste time. I just wanted to show you. I picked up these cute little chalkboards, and I printed out my vinyl, and I just obviously placed those on the chalkboard. So what you'll want to do is, I did it in 2 pieces. I just found that was a little bit easier. So I'm just trying to give you my tips. You want to cut it as close to the image as you can, because I did this one at 3 by 4. So it is tight, you know what I mean? This is going to fit just right there. And when I did this, let's pull this off, I'll show you. I literally took this and put the white as close to the bottom as possible. So get that right in there, and push down on that. But get it really close to the bottom, because it is a tight fit, but I honestly think it worked out real nice. So you could stain these, obviously, with doing 8 projects in one day and buying them. And honestly, it was, I didn't bother, but you could paint it red, you could paint it green. It'd be super cute. You can leave it like I did, or you can stain it. So there's some options available. And honestly, I think I would use, they sell chalk pens. And I think I would use a chalk pen on it, because as you can see, where you would put the days till Christmas, it is not real large, okay? So if you get that image on there real close to the bottom, you're gonna have much more success. Now, honestly, I had never layered before. So what I did when I cut this red, because it's just a one little, triangle, not triangle, square, maybe rectangle kind of with some size, I just literally peeled it off and put it on there. So when I put my transfer paper on, this is going to go on. I did not know that this one was supposed to go on first and then this one over top. So I ended up fitting those and taking off the couple highlights and putting them in there. Because I was afraid with the being such a tight fit, if I would get it quite lined up right. So you know what? Hopefully you guys have done some layering and you can figure that out. But that was my second DIY I did today. Super cute, super fun. Get these things out of our way first. And I'm going to show you the next simple one. So you'll need to pick up a clear ornament, a couple bags of this faux snow. It's got like some glittery sparkles in it. And look how cute this little guy came out. And you'll also need to print out his face. This is a super easy one. And you'll need some ribbon. Now, I had this ribbon. I did not pick it up at the dollar store. I'm sure they would have something like that. But let's show you how I did my bow. And then you can fill it and put that on. So what I did is I took and made a loop. And then made another loop like that. I then used my scissors and cut that in the back so it's not real thick or crazy. And then I used a little hot glue and I just put a little hot glue on my ribbon to hold it together. And then I took the ribbon and I cut it, so I still have a piece left over from doing that one, so I'm going to use that. I cut it right down the center, and I just, made a kind of an educated guess of where I wanted. And then I glued the one side right here in the middle, just kind of center it to the best you can and push that. And then I kind of crimped it with my fingers and brought that around. And then I glued that. So it kind of looks like he has, well, it is a bow tie. So just kind of pull, whoops, let go of it there. Just kind of crimp it down like that and pull. Oh, geez, try not to get your fingers there. All right, now I gotta start over. All right, so you're gonna pinch it, twist it, pull tight, and then put it around. So that is going to give us our bow tie. Now, because I cut this ribbon, honestly, it's gonna fray a little bit. Obviously, we're not gonna be touching it too much, so I wasn't too concerned. I think you could use a little lighter and try to burn that edge so it wouldn't do that. Or if you had a nice piece of a thin one, you could use that. But I was trying to keep the stripe in there and not really do a solid color. But like I said, if you're not careful with it, it is gonna fray. So that's how I got my bow tie. Alrighty. And I'm gonna set that aside just because it is kind of finicky. And the best way is to just pull off this cap. Now you'll want to pay attention that on these, they do have seams. Obviously this is molded plastic, so it does have a seam. So you want to make sure that you get the image not, where the seam is down his middle of his face. That's not going to look too good. And some of these are not perfect. So for sure you want to kind of try to find one, like I can see there's a little bit of bubble. So we'll use this side. Now, I did print this one. Now, the size I printed on this one was, let me think, 3 inches across and 2.5 down. Okay, so, and then I took and just peeled off the back, kind of like a reverse deal. And then I slit my paper here with the scissors. I just kind of cut. And honestly, you could just cut it out like this, any way you want. But that way it will bend a little bit more because this is definitely a large, decal. So we'll just try and get that on here. It is a little bit tricky. I want to get the glue off my fingers so it doesn't end up all over. Okay, so now we have that. We're going to peel it back. Let me just make sure it's on there nice and tight. Let's see if I can get this started. Here we go. Like I said, doing a round is always a little more difficult. Sometimes I will use a pair of scissors or something like that so that it will sit up. Like I said, just pay attention to where those seams are. And then kind of place it towards the top. And what I did is I pushed from the center out. I don't know if anyone has any better ideas. You can definitely put those in the comment, but that's what I find works the best. Sometimes you still get a little wrinkle, but like I said, I kind of cut that. If I don't think it's enough, I kind of cut it and then push down. And what I did find that worked the best for this image is then I peeled this off. I pulled this up and I kind of got that out of my way before I put the mouth down. So I'm going to do the same since it was effective first time. Because the mouth is so big. And I do have like a little air. And look at that. You just push it down and you're good to go. So I'm going to pull this. I'm not trying to get the mouth all the way off. So what I'm going to do, it just makes it easier so I don't have to deal with this sticky. I'm going to cut that again and cut this away. Like I said, I am no, oh dear, I am no expert at this by any means, but this is what I find works the best. So I'm going to put this side down. And then I'm going to pull this up and finish the rest of it. And I do have some air pockets here. Hopefully I can, just work out with my finger. If not, you'll just use your little credit card. This just happens to be one of those scrunchies for that clean your dishes. I think we all had a Pamper Chef party one time in our day. And that is how I got that little tool. And it seems to work perfectly. And then I'm going to make sure that I pull this mouth up a little bit. Oh, man, that glue is still on my hands. I can even see the string. Jeez. There we go. And I will probably need my tool to lift his mouth just a little bit. So I kind of pulled this off. And since I have a little air pocket right here, let me use my tool. I'm just going to lift this edge with my spatula a little. I don't know why I feel like the lighting's terrible today. I'm just going to pull it up just a little and push that down. And then I should have the rest of this right. And we're just going to bring this up here. I got this one piece right here. That's, each one is lifting, but it's laying down perfectly, so I'm going with it. And I am going to just lift this corner again. All right, this is definitely not perfect. So we're going to see, you can see his face right there. It's not as good on the camera there. And then what I did is I made a cone out of my paper. So just use your little transfer paper, put a cone like this, and you'll just stick that right in here like that. Cut your glitter open, stick inside, and then you will glue this right onto the bottom. Super cute. He ends up coming out just like this. He's adorable. You may have to glue in the lid because it does get a little heavy with all that in there. Now, I think you could save some maybe money and not use 2 bags of this by simply pouring in some either Mod Podge or glue, rolling it around, tipping it out, and then put it in, and it would only stick in there and it would be hollow and not full. But I kind of like the effect of that, but I don't really think it is necessary. But it's just, we're going to go with it. So that will be our second little project. Get that out of our way. All right, so we will finish that little guy up. And for our third project, I found these cute little ornaments. They're like an upside down mason jar. And they had these Christmas trees. They come to, obviously, in the pack. And they were hanging on the gold string that we took. And I kind of just think they look kind of cute. And I almost thought about painting it white. And they do carry silver, red, I think some other colors. And then obviously where the string was, it has a hole. So what I did is just used my little Dollar Tree wire cutters. And I just snipped it right at the top. Give it a little snip. These are getting a little dull. Oy, oy, oy. Never fails when you're on, TV. This is acting up a little. There we go. And I cut that off. I just want to make sure I don't bend it. If you wiggle it off, it will be fine. But the thing is, you won't maybe get your point 100%. So that's going to be my point here. And then what I did is I just used my wire cutters and I took the bell off. And there's like an opening with a ring on here. And I just, squeezed it a little. That's not enough. And bent it so that obviously I could take that off. So you just take your ring off and this. Don't get rid of this because I used that on another DIY that we'll be doing tonight. So to make this work, what I did is there's a ring on here that was holding open obviously the bell. I just took my wire cutters and carefully, because as you grab this wants to bend too, I bent this over. Okay, I just bent that over, and if you smash your tree a little bit like I did, then you'll just reshape it. But you're going to use that to glue to the mason jar lid. So it needs to be laid flat so that obviously when you glue it, it will work. If you end up smashing your tree a little, it's okay. Like I said, just fluff it back out. But you want to make sure that that's straight and whatnot. Okay? Then you're going to clearly cut off the tag. Whoops. This one already has a string on it. You could add some extra stuff in it. But what I did is I took just simple hot glue, honestly, and I just put a bunch on there. And then I did put a little in the lid. The reason why I did that in the lid is because I knew that was a center point then, because you want to definitely get that centered, because if you don't get it centered, it's not going to stand nice. Now give it a few seconds to hold it up. Maybe that's a little too much glue. Okay, definitely that's way wet. So we'll have to give it a second till it dries. That's why I said it's kind of important that you get that kind of flat, because otherwise your tree is not going to stand straight. Then we'll let that dry for a second because it's still moving around. That's just too much. I don't like that. Let's just take that off. That's not going to work. Okay. Let me just bend this a little bit straighter here. It's a little tricky because it is thick. It's not a wimpy piece of metal. There we go. And now I think we'll just put it on the center there, not on both pieces. I think that will be more effective. Let's fluff that tree back out. We'll put it right here. And we'll center that. And just give it a few seconds to dry. I think I'll prop it up there a second and let that dry. Now what I found was the best way for this snow was, let's just open this one up. I had a little extra. You can use, if you do this one before you do the bulb, you'll have plenty of snow. Because you're not going to put too much in there because obviously you'll be covering the whole lid. But you need enough in there to get it over the silver part. So it's best just to fill this okay? Because if you got a little snow on your tree, obviously that's going to work also. I always try to only open the corner of these bags because this stuff ends up everywhere and it's so messy. So we'll just, I really didn't want to open this whole thing. Just try, like this plastic, I mean, it just rips. It's ridiculous. You'll have it everywhere. It's a total mess. So just be super careful with that. And I just shook a little in there. Maybe a little more. It's not too much. And obviously if we have to open it back up, we will. But now this is good and dry. You're just going to put that in there. And then your tree is inside. I added a cute little bow. It looks like it's a little on the Leaning Tower of Pisa there. Might have to straighten that bad boy out a little. I just made a simple little bow with some ribbon I had and glued it right to the top. So just kind of V my little ends, and we'll do the same thing on this one. Now this one, same thing, you kind of want to make sure that you have your front, you can turn this cap, so you want to make sure that that centers out nicely. Put that on there and go like that. Now if for some reason you're like me and I don't like the way that looks in there, just tap it down. Let's bend this over. I don't know why it looks like it's crooked a little. Because it is wire, so it's going to bend. I think that's more straight. Like I said, tip your thing and you got a cute little tree ornament. Now you could vinyl something cute on there. You could do whatever you want. But I thought that was a super little cute project. Something you could do with your children. Now, who don't love a little candy jar or something like that? Are these adorable or what? So I found the truck one. And what you'll need to do is get a candlestick, and you can pick those up in the candle section area, and then these nice jars. These jars are super nice. They seal super good. Like, they're really almost like hard to get off. I was like, you could put fresh cookies in these for the people because it is definitely airtight in every possible way. But I thought this one was super cute with the little coffee. I thought that would go cute with my little coffee thing. And what I did is, obviously, this literally has a suction in part. It sits in there, I mean, perfectly. So what you're going to do, grab that, is use your E6000. Just use your E6000, put it around the edge, glue that on, and let it dry for 24 hours. So this one's still drying because I did it this morning, but it's clear, so you don't see anything in there. Sorry, I got the hiccups. And then you can tie a bow or you can leave it plain, whatever you like to do. Super cute project for a couple bucks. Like I said, whatever you fill it with will be perfect. You can take those to your neighbors or to the mailman or something like that. I said super perfect. It's a nice, inexpensive gesture for somebody on your Christmas list. Okay, that snow is everywhere. Like I said, a little bit messy. Okay, my next little favorite project, and I'm gonna grab all these. I found these cute little, I found these cute little snowmen, and he is Santa, sorry. He's so perfect. He has like a flat bottom. When you move all his fur back, he has a flat bottom. So he sits perfectly on my candy jar. And I found these today at the dollar store. If you find these, you guys better buy every single one you can, because I didn't even walk away for a second before I changed my mind to get some more, and the lady bought every case that was in there. But it's got the cutest lid. This one is Red Hot, and I went with Red Hots because it was Santa, obviously, but they also have Spree, I think, or Spree candy, and then they had the Rats or Runts. them hard little candies in these. But the lid is just adorable. Honestly, you could just give this a gift with a little bow on it. It would be super cute. But if you want to take it the next step further, what I did, so make sure when you cut this, you cut it by the knot too, because this also, you can use this string in the future for an ornament. I just pulled this off and it comes right out of his hat. So you want to take that off because we'll be fixing him up. Now I thought his hat with this little bit of green berry on it looks a little cheesy. I got to admit, it looks a little cheap. So honestly, I was like, you just cut yourself. I had bought those green strips. If you even got a little piece of tree, just cut off a little piece. I'm going to add that right on the hat. This piece seems to be a little big, but I use a little bit of this greens on a lot of my, man, these must be getting dull. I use them on a lot of my little projects, just sometimes a little extra. It just makes it look a little cute. So I just took and glued that right under the little berries of the hat. And then they also sell the berries with those little green sprays, and I added a little bit more to it. I just thought that little bit of extra, honestly, kind of covered up all that like plasticky, leafy looking thing. Now you could pull it off. I could not find, like I said, I'm in the middle of a move. I could not find my cute little pine cones because I would probably add a little pine cone to it. But I tried to remove the label, but I don't think it's a good idea because as you pull it off, the sticky, it's a clear label, but the sticky, I don't know, it's just going to be a nightmare. So what I did, and I'm not going to put this on quite yet, I'm going to, I did a vinyl buckle, and I did that in gold, and then I just had a piece of black plain vinyl. So what I did is I took this, and I'm actually going to just take and cut out the center. So the thing is you don't want to waste this gold piece in the center. We're going to use that as our buckle, you know, the actual piece that you would put in your buckle, the little hook. So I'm not wasting, but I cut this out. I don't know if there was a better way to do this too. It was very interesting. I'm sure this is another layering technique, but I cut it out my center. And then, because when you have a buckle, it technically, you know, goes through here. So you would see that little bit of edge on his buckle. So that's how I did that. So I just going to take and put my black vinyl piece all the way around. Oh, just trying to get it, the piece off here. There we go. And I went right kind of over the name of the company. I kind of felt like I didn't want to cover up the candy name in case like people want to know what they're eating. But in this case, I wanted a little bit thicker. I want to put this so that this end does not end up in the middle of my project. But there's like a bump on the jar. And so I just kind of followed that along and just made it reach the other end. When I got to the other end, I just cut it so it's not over layering too much. And I left it like that. And then I just put the buckle right over here. So we'll just, honestly, I didn't even use transfer tape because I thought it was kind of easy. It's just a square. So I have my little nicks out of there and I just kind of centered it. And laid it right down. And of course, I got a little air pocket. Back to my spatula. Probably why people should use transfer tape. But I'm just gonna put that down just a little bit. Oh Lord. Just peel it out just a little so I can get a little bit straighter. There we go. That'll work. And that's how I made it look like that. And then I just thought, oh, it needed a little something extra. So the piece that I cut out, I then cut a small in half again. So it's just a real thin bar. And I just use that as the little piece that you would obviously hook through your belt. And I just layered that like that. So it looks like you hooked your belt. Now you can center your Santa. And what I used is just some hot glue because obviously you're going to need to be able to use your lid. So let me get a little bit more glue stick here. And those I also picked up at the dollar store today. So I just used a generous amount of glue. And then I made sure his fur was pulled up. And we're going to put him right on the edge there. And honestly, you could probably comb out his beard if you wanted. But I think he just looks super cute. So you have a nice little gift that you could give a teacher, a mailman, somebody special in your life. And it's a little candy. So I just thought that was super cute, inexpensive craft project. So you could do that. And they are wired on the hat. So you can actually bend them and shape them the way you want. I just thought they were super cute for basically $2 and a little bit of your vinyl. I always say it's not really $2 because it's your vinyl, it's your time, it's running to the store. You know, people always say, oh, it's so cheap. I'm like, is it really though? Sometimes your time makes it more valuable. Let's see what else we have tonight. Okay, this one, I had some of the craft supplies here because you will need some glitter. And I'm not sure. I know the dollar store does carry the glitter. The dollar store does carry glitter. You could use fine glitter or whatnot. We're going to make these Disney ornaments. Super cute Minnie Mouse. And you'll find those in the toy section. I was really surprised because many times I like to look. There comes with all different Pluto and whatnot. I did pick the ones that had flatter feet because I feel like how are you going to adhere it if you don't if you don't glue it to the bottom of your ornament. Now I picked up these today at Hobby Lobby and they are $1.89 with your 40% off. I think they come to $1.13, so a little over $1. This is the 4-inch bulb, okay? And it comes in 2 halves. I have seen where they've cut the dollar store ones. I just didn't want to go through all that. It's much easier. So you have a front and a back. And the back has the ledge and the front has no ledge. It just fits in there. So take your back half and then you're going to use your dollar store Mod Podge, some of the glitter, and eventually some snow. And your little, Mickey Mouse or Pluto or whoever you decide on. What I do is I take a little of my Mod Podge and I put it in here. Sure we do. Okay, once you get it in there, just take your paintbrush. And you do want to do this in a nice fashion, not like real sloppy, because you will see it for a little bit. Once it dries, you don't, but I don't know. I just like to be neat about it just in case. And if there's like a bump in there, just take it out. So I just go around the whole back of the ornament. Just line it like that. Real good. Make sure you get all the edges. Spread that around. Okay, just like that. The reason why I'm doing that, obviously, is because you would see through the ornament, and maybe that would look cool too, but I just kind of like the background, and it looks like she's sitting in there. So, personal preference, do what you like. Sorry, I don't want to ruin my good paintbrush, so let me clean that. And what we will next do is just take your glitter and you just pour it in there. You can pour a generous amount because we're not going to waste it. And best to use a piece of paper or a paper plate. Let me see, do I have something like that around here? Oh, geez. Let me get a piece of paper here. Just shake it around inside there. But like, we're going to need a piece of paper only because, like I said, I don't want to waste it. So once you get it all the way around, and you'll need to get really close to the edge, so some might fall out. So that's why I'm saying you might want to do it nice on a piece of paper. Okay, so you got that in there. Give it a few taps so you can get all the extra off. I'm going to put this right on here. Oh, I'm not a big glitter fan. It is so messy, but it's so great on projects. Pour your rest in there, and like I said, really give it a good tap. Because if you don't, you will look like you have black specks in your snowflakes. So you want to really give it a good tap. You don't want any of that extra nonsense in there with your snow. Now, since this is on video and you already can see what it is done, I'm not going to finish this one only because, truthfully, my recommendation on that, you want to just put this all the way in there. Put that away. My recommendation is to let that thoroughly dry. Now today, to be able to do that, what I did was, oh, this stuff is so messy. What I did is I literally went in my bathroom and used my hair dryer. And I knew it would blow, so, obviously I was being very careful, but it was kind of funny. Because I was careful, but it is going to blow out a little. So you definitely want to hold it in the sink. And then I used my hair dryer to dry it. So you can see how that looks when it's wet. It's kind of ugly. It doesn't look too nice. But once it thoroughly dries, it is clear and you don't see it. So like I said, if you don't let it dry thoroughly and you go ahead and load it with the snow, some of these flakes are going to be in your snow and you're going to look like you have black polka dots of snow. So what I then did is we are going to take Mickey Mouse, and once this was thoroughly dry, I would continue this, obviously. We are going to glue him right on the edge of the bulb, okay? Just like that. So he kind of sits up in there like that. We're going to glue that down, and then we will put the front on and adds your snow, and then put your front on. So he's standing in the middle. Like I said, I want to let him thoroughly dry so that I don't end up with, I'm going to glue him down anyway because I think he'll be fine to show you. And you definitely, see, that's what I'm saying. If it doesn't dry, it could be messy. If you definitely want to make sure that your hook is at the top before you do that, because if it's not, he's not going to be hanging straight. So you are going to make sure it's good and dry. You're going to glue him down. You could even probably use a little E6000. You don't have to worry if it messes it up a little because obviously the snow is going to cover it. So it shouldn't be a problem. But bigger thing is just make sure it's even. Then you'll add your snow into this half, put it in here, and not too much, otherwise it will cover all of them. But let's face it, when you're in the snow, it covers your feet. If you want him to be more noticeable in his shoes, you could put a little piece of plastic or a little piece of cardboard or something in there, and then prop him up and then put the snow so that more of his shoe will show. But like I said, see, there's already glitter on my inside of this, and you don't want that because, like I said, you'll end up with speckled snow, and that won't look too good. So let it dry thoroughly and it comes out, or like I said, if you have to rush it, use a hair dryer, and that will turn out super cute too. So that's how I did that little Christmas ornament. Christmas ornaments always great gifts. I don't know, we have a bunco group that we do, and we do exchange Christmas ornaments, and it's always fun. So you can make those, you can make them special, personalize them, add little tags, bows, or whatnot. Now, as for my last project, and I think we're going on number 8, hopefully we haven't fallen asleep or anything because it is getting late, but I couldn't pass up my gnomes. They are just so stinking cute, and so I've done a few tutorials on how to make these, so I'm just going to whip him up. You can check my other tutorials because obviously they're all done the same. But I'm going to show you how, excuse me, I do him. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple options. So you will need the men's socks. I get the men's socks. I actually get the one with the little rib in the middle. You get 6 of these for $1 at the Dollar Tree. I found whatever sock you like. I try not to get too many crazy patterns, but the gnomes are so popular right now, and I just thought he was cute, so we will do him. But this is a sock, and you're going, oh, how do you get that so the image don't end up upside down? I'm going to show you how to do that. While you're at Hobby Lobby's, I just happen to have these. Dollar Tree does carry wood balls, not quite as large as these. Also, you'll find the wood ones in stain in the Dollar Tree in the hair. You know how people put the beads in their hair? You can get the wood ones in that section. They do carry them there. So these are 1 inch. So these are a lot bigger than most, but I did pick these up at Hobby Lobby. He'll need one of those for his nose. And I get this great fur by the yard at Hobby Lobby. So it's really super thick, super nice. The trick on cutting the fur is to move the fur up, cut it with the scissors, and then when you pull it down, you get these nice frayed edges. If you cut it just right down the middle without moving the fur, you're going to see the edge of this on the back. So I usually cut this about 2.5, maybe 3 inches. And I do make it square because it seems like it's fine. If I want it more pointy, obviously I would just pull it back a little, the hair, and cut off the corners. But it seems to be perfect. So we'll be using that. And like many people ask me where I get that. I buy it by the yard in the big yard. I don't know if it's $7 or $8. And you buy a yard or 2 at a time. Now you can get just some cheap rice. Pick that big old bag. It's 20 pounds. I'm running out. I've made so many of these at the good old Walmart, you know, for like $4 or $5. Okay. You'll need some of the stuffing, the fiber fill. And another option, if you want to get all your materials at the dollar store and you don't want to go and get to Hobby Lobby and get some fur like this, you can pick up these mops. This mop is those kind that you slide on, I believe. I'm not sure. I never even used it as a mop. But you could use that as your fur, if you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you or you can't find any. That would make a great option. I picked that up today thinking, oh, that's a great idea. So let's get started here. How come I'm not seeing my white string? Okay. Right there. What I do is I put this, let me move all these supplies so you can see okay. Again, I just put the sock over the thing, honestly, because just more convenient. And you will take your rice and you'll pour it in there. Oh. Geez, we have rice all over. Let's get to the end. Normally I use a scoop in all honesty. But this I figured I would just probably use the rest of it because I don't want to store it. One less thing I'll have to move. So just push it down with your fingers. And honestly, you don't need a ton of this because what the rice is for, honestly, is just for the weight of it so it doesn't tip. So that's what I use the rice for. You can use beans, you can use whatever you want. I mean, some people use sand, whatever you want. Just something so like I said, see, it stands up, you're not going to have any problem. Now, to make the rest of the shape, that's what you'll use for the fiber fill. So you don't have to, use a ton of this product that's in there, just enough, but you would use more of this. And then I just kind of shove this in there. I don't want to mat it down too much. I just kind of use my fingers and push it down in there until it hits the rice. And then I kind of work its way back up. So, obviously if you want a really tall hat, you just make them more skinny. You know what I mean? So once you have that in there, look at that, we already got a gnome. No, I'm just kidding. So we'll then use some twine that I also pick up. You can pick this up in the hardware section at the Dollar Tree. And just cut yourself, that's cotton, twine. Just put this around there. Only reason why I'm doing that, honestly, is like, what if it tipped over? You don't want rice all over your house, You're not going to see these strings, so you don't even have to cut them if you don't want to. No big deal. Now, this rib, that's why I don't mind these socks. I think it's perfect, especially if you don't know what you're doing. It's perfect. What I do is I line up my fur right on that edge, like that. And so I just take my glue, and obviously you want to make sure your fur is going in the right direction. Look, it even glitters on that. Oh, Lord. And you can put that right along that edge. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that kind of gives you an idea of where it would go. And you can shape your fur like this. So he looks like he's got a little bit of a beard, but pull him out, that sort of thing. Let's add a little more glue on these corners. Yeah, a little bit more. I just missed it. All right. So his fur now is on there. Now we're going to make his hat. So obviously we need the decoration to end up properly. So we will not be to tip the sock up and slide it on. If it had stripes, polka dots, or something with no pattern on it, I would literally slide this on, tie a like thing, and make a ball out of his hat. So it would be that simple. In this case, what you're going to do, since there is a pattern and it can end up upside down, we're going to cut the sock. So I'm going to, on the toe of a sock, there's a heavy line, and I'm not going to go up there. I'm going to do it as far as possible to the bottom, and I'm just going to snip that right along the edge, okay? This is cotton, so it's going to stretch. So really, like you see how little this piece is that I cut off? That's going to be plenty, okay? Because like I said, when you pull it, it's going to be plenty. Now, because this is cotton and it wants to roll, what I do is I just take a little bit of glue and I put it on the edge, okay? And then I just tuck it under. So basically, if you were sewing, obviously, you would be putting a little hem in it. And that's really what we're trying to accomplish. We're just going to, so that in case, it starts moving up or something like that, that the raw edge of the sock isn't showing, so it's not falling apart. Literally, there's sparkles all over my glue gun. Yuck. All right. So one more little spot here, I think, to tuck it down. So now I have a complete finished edge. Just like that. Oops, let me go up a little bit. Just like that, it's finished. So now we will use that, and obviously we need to get the center of his beard in the center of our beard. Otherwise it might look weird. So I'm going to take my fingers and kind of poke it in there and pull it down. Like I said, don't cut off too much. And there's a little bit on the back. You can see the ribbing. You kind of just want to pull that so it covers it, so it looks nice and clean along the back. Just poke that down in there. I'm going to make sure he's straight from my side. Yep. Okay. Then I'm just going to make sure that some of this on the inside is kind of messy. I'm going to cut some of that off just so that it's not going to show. because you will see that. Okay. So now we have the sock, and you can see where the heel is. You can see it's like weird looking. We're going to use our cotton string again. The little cotton string. Just cut them off so that you can tie it without being frustrated. If you want to try to cut it too small, it will be crazy. Put it around that very white edge of your sock. And we're going to pull it as close, like I said, to that white edge as possible. Okay, so we want to make sure that there's not too much, okay, showing there. So you can see I got it real nice and tight, and it has that ugly, so that's why we were cutting that out, so it's not really ugly. And then just double knot it and cut these off. Okay. Now, that bell that we cut off the other project, or if you have a bell, whatever you want to do, I just took that and I put that right in that center. So you won't see that nice little ugly part. I just took my bell and I added a little glue to it. And I stuck it right in there. So just kind of hold it like that and push in. Let that dry like that. Now, this we kind of want to tip it to the side that he has his hat. So what you'll do is just kind of shape it a little. Just kind of fluff it and turn it to the side. So you can see like that. We'll take our wood nose, add a little glue to that. And we'll definitely make sure that that's centered, and you'll just hold that down. There we go. And now you have your gnome. I used a little bit of ribbon that I had to tie in some of that red. Just cut a little piece. I just wanted to cover up that string that wasn't too attractive. Sorry, I gotta turn around so I can see what I'm doing. And we'll just tie a little piece around there to give it a little more oomph and make it super cute. Can't go wrong. So here's our little gnome. Super cute for Christmas. I like to prop them up on little trays, or little stands, cake stands, and they're just so cute. So you can add little decorations or whatnot to it. Put it that way. You can even bend it forward, however you want to, play with it. But it's super cute. So let's just recap again. We did the cute little Starbucks. Can we all see that? Okay, the Starbucks ornament. We did the Disney ornament. And we made the candy little Santa. You're going to make the super cute, let's bring him back here, cute little candy dishes there. You can make Jack Skeleton. He's super cute. We have the Christmas tree little mason jar ornament. And we did a little chalkboard idea for the how many days till Christmas. And I think that is all our projects today. Hey, thanks for joining me. If you'd like to sprinkle my video, I'd really appreciate it. Again, it's Shelly with Gilbert Marketplace. Everyone have a great night.
What the hell is sprinkle?